Well, the Syrian ambassador to Ukraine says a number of Ukrainians are fighting alongside armed rebels in his country. It's reported some are members of Hizb ut-tahrir, a global Islamist movement that wants to unite the whole Muslim world. Aleksey Yaroshevsky has been to Ukraine to take a closer look at the activities of the organization there.
The Khan Palace in the town of Bakhchisarai, all that's left as a reminder of the Crimean Tatars' glory days. Built centuries before the Tatars were deported by Joseph Stalin in the 1940s and repatriated with the USSR's collapse. Bar half a century they spent in exile, the Crimean Tatars have been inhabiting the Crimean Peninsula for more than 1600 years. At some point they even had a powerful state of their own, part of the Ottoman Empire. And there are those who are clearly unhappy with the current state of things. Fazil Amzayev heads the information office of the Hizb ut-tahrir party in Ukraine, which officially opened in June. He points at the global resurrection of Islam and says the time has come to rebuild the global Islamic state, the Caliphate.
We as an organization work on establishing Islamic states only in Muslim countries like Turkey, Pakistan, Syria, etc. In Ukraine, Russia and European states, we're not working on changing governments. There are calls in our books to establish the Caliphate, but we always stress it must be done in a peaceful way.
But not everyone seems to be buying that. In several states, including Russia and Germany, Hizb ut-tahrir is considered a terrorist organization. In Uzbekistan, for example, authorities claim the party was driving force of the bloodletting 2005 Andijan riots. Recently, Hizb ut-tahrir showcased their expanding following in Ukraine at a several thousand-strong rally in Crimea.
They say if you're a Muslim, you must join us and fight infidels and infidel governments, Ukraine, Russia, the USA. If you're not with us, then you'll be worse than the infidel and must be killed too. Their goals are not the enlightenment of Muslims, their goals are geopolitical, and many unemployed young people fall for their ideas.
There have already been precedents of underground terrorist cells uncovered and busted by Ukraine's security service. During the most recent raid, explosives and extremist books were discovered. Some of those had come directly from current war zones, as authorities have evidence of at least 450 Crimean Tatars fighting in Syria on the rebels' side. Investigative journalist Yuri Pershikov says this spells trouble not only for Crimea, but for the whole region.
We knew they used to go to the Turkish part of Cyprus to supposedly study, but in reality they went through combat training. Now they have Syria as a perfect boot camp, and after they return they would be so skilled they could explode a powder keg here. Crimea is like a breeding ground for such movements. From here they are exported to Russia's Caucasus, Turkey, Bulgaria and Romania. And we've got all sorts of radical sects here.
Nowadays there's still no law in Ukraine properly regulating religious sects, and there is no legal definition of extremism. There are worries now that if the authorities continue turning a blind eye to escalating religious activities in the peninsula, one provocative spark, like an interethnic clash, could easily ignite a melting pot right next door to Europe. Aleksey Yaroshevsky, RT, reporting from Crimea in Ukraine.